just like that, overnight, it changes once again. Stu, don't you feel like you just get a handle on it, just where you want it, and then it slips right out of your fingers?
Yeah, that's kind of just the way it goes with living with the seasons a little bit. And it always reminds me, the suddenness of the change reminds me of actually a C.S. Lewis quote, I think in Screw Tape Letters, where he talks about we have in us, a love of permanence. So it's really challenging when we see the flowers fade and things change, but without that change, you don't get what comes next. And so we also love change. And so his encouragement is more along the lines of living within that balance of the rhythm between both permanence and change.
You think of C.S. Lewis, do you know what I think of?
A she shed.
Changes.
Oh, little Bowie, little David Bowie.
But yes, you're right. And along with that permanence and an idea of change, I think this is the perfect time to finally get going on this she shed project that I've been wanting to do for months. But when the gardens are so beautiful and there's roses blooming, I don't really want to spend time in the greenhouse, right? I want to be outside, putzing around in the gardens. But now that the night times are getting really chilly and it's raining a lot, we need a space to be, a space to put all of my pots from outside in the gardens, all the garden tools, and ideally a place that we can exist outside in fresh air through the winter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the she shed is, it's definitely a she shed.
What makes you say that?
But it'll be a good place for you to kind of get your rays in when this darkness of winter comes along.
I mentioned this in our last video, and I am sticking by it. I am really trying to not make winter my enemy this year. I'm trying to embrace it, really trying to just welcome it in with that heart of change and knowing that there's a permanence here, that spring will come and the snow will melt. But right now, this is the season at hand.
Yeah, and without the changing of the seasons, you don't get to experience all the things that we love about the season. The warmth of fires and first snow and all those exciting things that come.
It's true.
So it's a give and take. It's
to everything there is a season.
That's right.
Did David Bowie say that?
No.
No, that was in the Bible.
It was Ecclesiastes.
Okay, well,
and the birds, I think. Yeah.
Well, all that being said, I'm really happy with how this little she shed is being put together. So those of you who have been following us for a while may know that this started out as a greenhouse that I was going to grow greens in all year round. But then I gave up on that idea, partly because of this idea of changes and seasons. And we grow like crazy people in the growing season. And in the wintertime, it is nice to actually take a little bit of a break from the demands of the garden and just exist and be and enjoy. And so it's with that attitude that I'm creating this little potting shed where I can come and putz and keep my lemon tree and my bay tree alive in the winter, but really creating a place to sit, read, knit, think, pray, and just explore being in nature and being in silence. And I'm looking forward to having it all winter.
Like most of our projects, we typically have to take a break to attend to something more demanding.
Listen, I'm a simple woman, okay? I have very few requirements.
Yeah.
One of them is a daily latte.
Yeah, it's reasonable. Yeah, of course. I was talking more about the need to pull in all of the beets and parsnips and stuff that we still need to bring in from the market garden.
I misread that.
Yeah.
But yes, as much as we want to just tuck into the she shed on these cold and rainy days already. I'm still pulling in the last of the root crops from the market garden. So the beets and the parsnips and the cabbages finally came inside this past weekend, and it is such a good and exciting feeling to be closing up shop up there. Sad in a way, but beautiful in so many other ways.
Yeah, it kind of marks a bit of the end of harvest season for us. I mean, we still have some work to do in the gardens and whatnot, but it really does kind of put a period on it.
It does. So as ridiculous as this may seem, I have had this vision in my mind for years of having an old vintage chandelier in my she shed. And I kicked around this idea. There was obviously more cost-effective options available. But then I decided to save my money and go for what I really wanted. And I'm so glad that I did. Don't you think it's charming, Stu?
Yeah, it is. It's definitely charming, I guess is the right word.
The elegance with the rustic greenhouse, it's just the perfect yin and yang. If there's one thing I know about creating a space and creating an atmosphere like we're trying to do in this she shed, is that it all comes down to lighting. So in addition to the chandelier, I strung some outdoor bulb lights over the potting area. I brought out some extra furniture. I mean, I say extra. There might be a few holes in the living room now, but all in the name of a beautiful project. And I love it. It created an atmosphere that is cozy and warm and inviting, and the juxtaposition, is that a word?
Yeah,
Is that the word I'm looking for here?
Yeah.
Of the soft pillows and the carpet and the throw blankets and the upholstered furniture and the chandelier, married with a lemon tree planted in the middle of the room and little jumping spiders that have nested in the moss and the pine cones. It's just magic, isn't it? I think the she shed will be like the perfect kitchen. Over the years, things layer in piece by piece by piece. This isn't the kind of room that you can just create out of thin air. A real room like this needs to be lived in and explored and tended to for years. And it really starts to come alive as you patch together memories and pieces that cultivate the space. And I'm very much looking forward to doing that in this greenhouse.